Humanity had always been known for its relentless drive to innovate, and this trait became even more pronounced as they expanded into the stars. With access to new resources and the constant threat of extraterrestrial dangers, humanity invested heavily in advancing their military technology. Their warships, once modest compared to the fleets of older galactic civilizations, quickly evolved into some of the most formidable vessels ever seen. They integrated AI systems that could process information at speeds far beyond any organic mind, allowing these ships to react instantly to threats and adapt to new tactics in real time. The ships were equipped with adaptive shielding that could recalibrate based on the type of energy or projectile being used against them, making them nearly impervious to damage. Weapon systems were enhanced with unprecedented precision and destructive capability, designed to obliterate enemy fleets in seconds. These advancements positioned humanity as a rising power, capable of defending itself against any galactic threat. The first true demonstration of humanity's newfound power came during a skirmish with a notorious pirate fleet that had been terrorizing trade routes for decades. The Galactic Council, which had long struggled to contain these pirates, was shocked when a small contingent of human warships obliterated the entire pirate armada in a matter of minutes. The sheer efficiency and lethality of the human fleet sent shockwaves through the galaxy. News of the battle spread quickly, and other civilizations took notice. What they saw was not just a victory, but a display of force that far surpassed anything they had witnessed before. The human warships operated with a level of coordination and precision that seemed almost inhuman, because it was. The AI systems on these ships worked in perfect harmony, executing complex maneuvers that no organic pilot could replicate. The galaxy, once accustomed to balanced and restrained combat, was now faced with a new kind of warfare, one where destruction was swift and absolute. The Galactic Council, composed of representatives from the most powerful civilizations, quickly recognized the potential threat posed by these new human warships. While they admired humanity's technological prowess, they were also deeply concerned about the implications of such power. The Council had long established rules of engagement designed to minimize destruction and preserve the stability of the galaxy. Human warships, however, seemed to disregard these principles entirely. Their overwhelming firepower and AI-driven tactics were seen as a direct challenge to the established order, potentially leading to an arms race that could destabilize the entire galaxy. The ethical dilemmas were also stark. Could such power be controlled? What would happen if these warships were used indiscriminately? The Council feared that if humanity continued to develop and deploy these ships, it could lead to conflicts on an unprecedented scale, with catastrophic consequences for all. In response to these concerns, the Galactic Council took the unprecedented step of banning human warships from participating in galactic combat. This decision was not made lightly, as it involved intense political maneuvering and negotiations. Many in the Council argued that humanity's power needed to be curbed before it became a threat to the galaxy itself. Others feared that banning human warships would only push humanity to operate outside the bounds of galactic law, potentially leading to even greater conflict. In the end, the ban was imposed, with strict regulations enforced to ensure that human warships would not be used in any official military engagements. This decision, however, did not sit well with humanity, who saw it as an infringement on their sovereignty and a dismissal of their right to defend themselves. The stage was set for a future confrontation, as the galaxy tried to balance the need for security with the looming threat of unchecked human power. From the fringes of the galaxy emerged a rogue faction known as the Valkyrie, a species that had long been dismissed as a minor threat. Driven by a fanatical belief in their own superiority, the Valkyrie sought to conquer and reshape the galaxy in their image. They had remained hidden for centuries, quietly amassing power and technology far beyond what the galaxy had expected. Their motives were clear: total domination and the eradication of any species that refused to submit to their rule. The Valkyrie military force was unlike anything the galaxy had encountered, highly advanced, ruthlessly efficient, and utterly merciless. Their fleets moved with precision, leaving no survivors and decimating any planet that resisted. The scale of the threat they posed was immense, as they aimed to subjugate or destroy every major civilization in the galaxy. The initial invasion struck with terrifying speed. The Valkyrie targeted the outer star systems first, obliterating entire planets before the Galactic Council could mount a defense. Their ships, equipped with weapons of unparalleled destructive power, tore through defenses as if they were nothing. The Council's forces, despite their best efforts, found themselves hopelessly outmatched. Traditional tactics and strategies that had worked for centuries proved ineffective against the Valkyries' advanced technology and brutal tactics. The invaders showed no mercy, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. As the Valkyrie pushed further into the galaxy, fear spread among the remaining civilizations. Panic took hold as entire systems fell within days, with refugees fleeing toward the core worlds in a desperate bid for survival. The galaxy, once thought to be secure under the protection of the Council, was now on the brink of collapse. As the Valkyrie invasion continued unabated, the Galactic Council's desperation grew. They had exhausted every option, deploying their most powerful fleets and enlisting the aid of allied civilizations, but nothing could stop the Valkyries' relentless advance. The Council, once confident in their ability to maintain peace and order, was now faced with the very real possibility of total annihilation. Internal debates raged as the Council members struggled to find a solution. Some argued for surrender, believing it was the only way to save what remained of the galaxy. Others called for more extreme measures, including the use of banned technologies and weapons. But with each passing day, the situation grew more dire. The Valkyrie were closing in on the core worlds, and it was only a matter of time before they reached the heart of galactic civilization. In their desperation, the Council realized that there was only one option left, one they had hoped to avoid. Reluctantly, the Galactic Council made the decision to lift the ban on human warships. They knew that humanity's fleet, with its unmatched firepower and advanced AI, was the only force capable of standing up to the Valkyrie. It was a decision born out of necessity, not trust. The Council feared the consequences of unleashing humanity's warships, but they had no other choice. Without them, the galaxy was doomed. Messages were sent to Earth, urgently requesting their intervention. Humanity, once shunned and restricted, was now being called upon to save the galaxy. The Council's hope rested on the very fleet they had once feared, hoping that humanity could turn the tide and stop the Valkyrie before it was too late. The stakes were clear: the survival of the galaxy depended on whether humanity could harness its lethal power to defeat the greatest threat it had ever faced. Humanity's response to the Galactic Council's plea was swift and decisive. The order was given to reactivate the fleet that had been mothballed under the ban. Engineers and technicians worked around the clock, bringing the warships back online. These vessels, once considered too dangerous for use, were meticulously prepared for battle. Their systems were recalibrated, their weapons armed, and their AI networks brought to full operational status. The crews, highly trained and ready for combat, took their positions, fully aware of the significance of the mission ahead. This was no ordinary deployment, it was a do-or-die moment for the entire galaxy. The lethal fleet that had been hidden away was now humanity's spearhead in a battle for survival, and every effort was made to ensure that these warships were at their most lethal. The fleet's capabilities were unmatched by any other in the galaxy. Each warship was equipped with an array of advanced technologies that made them nearly invincible. The AI coordination allowed the fleet to operate as a single cohesive unit, with each ship communicating and reacting to the others in real time. This synchronization meant that the fleet could adapt to changing battle conditions instantly, outmaneuvering and outthinking any enemy. The adaptive shielding, a marvel of human engineering, provided unparalleled protection, adjusting to counter whatever weaponry the enemy deployed. The weapons themselves were beyond anything the galaxy had seen: mass drivers capable of pulverizing planets, energy weapons that could slice through the toughest armor, and missile systems with pinpoint accuracy. These warships were the epitome of human ingenuity, designed not just to win battles, but to end wars. The first engagement between the human fleet and the Valkyrie invaders was nothing short of a slaughter. As the fleets met in the cold void of space, the Valkyrie, confident in their previous victories, were unprepared for the sheer power that humanity unleashed. The battle was over almost as soon as it began. Human warships, coordinated by their AI systems, executed complex maneuvers that left the Valkyrie fleet in disarray. The adaptive shields absorbed and nullified the Valkyrie's attacks, while human weapons tore through the enemy ships with devastating precision. The invaders, who had once seemed unstoppable, were decimated in minutes. The human fleet moved with a lethal efficiency that left no room for counterattack. It was a display of overwhelming force, a demonstration of why these warships had been deemed too dangerous for conventional combat. For the first time, the Valkyrie met an enemy that could not only match them but utterly destroy them. The reactions across the galaxy were mixed. On one hand, there was awe. Civilizations that had witnessed the human fleet in action were stunned by the power and precision on display. They had never seen anything like it, and many began to wonder if humanity had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. But with that awe came fear. The same civilizations that admired humanity's strength also recognized the threat it posed. If humanity could do this to the Valkyrie, what could they do to the rest of the galaxy? The old fears that had led to the ban resurfaced, and now they were amplified by the very real demonstration of what those warships could do. The Galactic Council, while relieved that the Valkyrie threat was being dealt with, began to question whether they had made a terrible mistake. They had unleashed a force that might be even more dangerous than the one they were fighting, and they knew that once the war with the Valkyrie was over, they would have to confront the new reality they had created. As humanity continued to push back the Valkyrie, driving them out of system after system, the galaxy began to change. The power dynamics that had once been stable were now in flux. Civilizations that had long held dominance found themselves overshadowed by the new human fleet. The Galactic Council, once the ultimate authority in the galaxy, was now seen as weakened, its decision to lift the ban viewed as an admission of its own impotence. The balance of power was shifting, and everyone knew it. Humanity, once the underdog, was now a superpower. The question on everyone's mind was what humanity would do once the Valkyrie were defeated. Would they return to their previous status, or would they assert their newfound dominance over the galaxy? The answers were unclear, and that uncertainty left everyone on edge. The galaxy had entered a new era, one defined by the rise of humanity and the uncertain future that came with it. Humanity's victory over the Valkyrie was swift and absolute. The invaders, who had once seemed unstoppable, were now being hunted down and eradicated. Human warships scoured the galaxy, eliminating the remnants of the Valkyrie forces wherever they were found. The Galactic Council, while relieved that the threat was being neutralized, watched with growing unease. The efficiency with which humanity was conducting the war was both impressive and terrifying. The warships, driven by their AI systems, showed no mercy, no hesitation. They operated with a cold, calculated precision that left no room for negotiation or surrender. The Valkyrie, who had once been the terror of the galaxy, were now being exterminated, their entire species facing the very real possibility of extinction. The Council, once so confident in their ability to control the galaxy, now realized that they had unleashed something far more dangerous than they had anticipated. The human fleet, with its unmatched power, was now the dominant force in the galaxy, and there was no telling what they would do next. As the war came to an end, the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what humanity would do. The Galactic Council, recognizing that they could not simply reinstate the ban, began to consider other options. Some argued that humanity should be rewarded for their efforts, given a seat on the Council and a say in the governance of the galaxy. Others, more fearful of what humanity might do, called for stricter controls, perhaps even an alliance of other civilizations to counterbalance the human fleet. But whatever the decision, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same. The old order had been shattered, and a new era had begun. Humanity, once the outsider, was now the most powerful force in the galaxy, and the future was theirs to shape. The question was, what kind of future would it be? The galaxy, once a place of balance and stability, was now a place of uncertainty, and everyone knew that the decisions made in the coming years would determine the fate of trillions of lives.